هني في لوط. واو ببات زيكوك. واو ببات زيكوك أخي.
These were the scenes that came from occupied Palestine when Iran attacked Israel during the 12-day war. These scenes came particularly from the refinery location in the northern city of occupied Haifa when Iran landed missiles without sirens being heard, without any interception, not even failed interception that came from Israel against this attack. Israel did not admit at the time that these attacks happened, only for them later on having to admit and also reveal a lot of information with documentaries being published in Israel about the significance of this attack. Not only the refineries that included very dangerous chemicals in the northern city of Haifa, but also other strategic places too. However, this one was very significant. But it wasn't just this attack. There was a recent revelation coming from the IRGC spokesperson that during this attack, Iran also carried out a strike on a Mossad base. That Mossad base, according to him, killed 36 Mossad operatives. This was recently published in Iranian media, and it was confirmed by the IRGC. At the time, we heard that Iran targeted certain people who were linked with the Mossad and the Israeli intelligence community. Israel to this day denies that any Mossad member or any other intelligence units members passed away. However, there are reasons to believe why that may be accurate. Number one, Iran used several missiles during these attacks in locations that were very close to the control and command area inside of Israel and other locations embedded within the Israeli civilian buildings and Israeli metropolitans. At the time, there were reports from Israelis too that these locations included sensitive bases for the Israeli intelligence community. Some of the missiles that Israel used at the time, that Iran, used at the time, included missiles that penetrated Israeli bunkers. So we're not just talking hypersonic missiles that just land and explode. They penetrated bunkers, and Israel confirmed at the time that many Israelis were stuck in the bunkers when Iran carried out the strike in what it called True Promise 3 after Israel attacked Iran. Is there something else that proved that this could be accurate from an Iranian perspective? Hezbollah targeted the location that belongs to the 8,200 unit when they had an escalation and an open front with Israel. And at the time, it was mentioned that they targeted the head of the 8,200 unit alongside other dozens who were reportedly killed. Israel again did not confirm that any of these people were killed, but the main person who was behind Unit 8,200, the man leading Unit 8,200, did not show his face ever since that time. As a matter of fact, Israel said that they changed his position and they brought a new person to head the 8,200 unit. However, they missed something very important. Usually, when they change the heads of these intelligence units inside of Israel, they have a very big ceremony. And in that ceremony, past and present are combined. the man who served for very many years in a very sensitive position comes, he has a speech, he talks about his experience, and he wishes the incoming head good luck. He says something. And then we hear another speech. That didn't happen. And that was the only time that did not happen, which raises the likelihood that Iran's attack on the Mossad base could have actually been a very accurate attack. Because at the time, again, Israel did confirm that multiple locations near sensitive areas were attacked. Iran indeed showed missiles, or they were published from internally from within Israel, of HQs of the Israeli Mossad being attacked, therefore leading to the conclusion of a very high likelihood of that happening. Why is Iran talking about this now? And why are they publishing all of this information that relates to their previous attacks in Israel? This is part of a growing pattern that's happening recently, simultaneously with the advancements in the talks about both a ceasefire in Gaza and a continuation and moving on to the next phase of a ceasefire in Lebanon. These things indicated generally that tensions are reducing, that we're not looking towards any sort of escalation. However, Iran learned the lesson last time when they were in talks with the main country that backs Israel, which is the United States of America. After 2 months of constant talks, the United States backed in full an Israeli attack against Iran, and later on the American president participated in that attack. Why would the United States participate in that attack after they've been having all of these diplomatic talks and diplomatic relations and negotiations and sending mediators and sending delegations and sending key people to talk with their Iranian counterparts? Iran realized that the United States uses this soft approach to numb the Iranian readiness or preparedness, then strike them both with Israel or by backing Israel completely. And the Iranians know very well that Israel needs the United States fully in any upcoming attack against Iran. Now, there's an argument that the United States' escalation now with Venezuela is primarily related to an ongoing Israeli request to participate in a war against Iran. Benjamin Netanyahu asked almost every single American president when he was in office to carry out a strike against Iran, but they refused, apart from Donald Trump, who had this theatrical attack and then completely withdrew after Iran responded by attacking an American base. However, that wouldn't necessarily stop Israel from conducting an attack against Iran that would be backed by the United States, even if the United States doesn't directly engage in combat with Israel against the Islamic Republic of Iran.